Every February 14th, at exactly 11:47 p.m., I receive the same message. Always the same. For 7 years. It comes from a number that no longer exists. I never reply. I can't. But this year, something changed. This time it wasn't just text. There was an audio message. It was his voice. Marco. He died in 2019, yet he spoke to me as if he were here, standing right in front of me. He told me not to open the door, because something is already inside the house with me. I live alone in an isolated house, at the end of a road no one ever takes. My life flows quietly, between work, books, and small routines that give meaning to my days. Valentine's Day never meant anything to me. I don't celebrate it. I don't watch romantic movies. I don't wait for gifts or messages. And yet, since Marco has been gone, every year I feel something, a chill running down my spine, as if someone were watching me. February 14th, 11:47 p.m. It doesn't matter where I am, whether my phone is off, on airplane mode, or if I've changed my number. It always arrives. 7 years ago, I thought it was a mistake. 5 years ago, I was sure it was a cruel joke. Today, I only know that I can't avoid it. His name was Marco. We met when we were 23, in a loud bar where the music drowned out everything and the beers were warm. He laughed loudly, but his eyes were only on me. It all happened fast. Nights spent talking, sudden trips, heated arguments, and reconciliations that burned even brighter. We weren't perfect. Stupid jealousy, arguments about a future we couldn't even imagine. But when things were good, the rest of the world disappeared. Then came 2019. An October night, heavy rain, him driving too fast because he was angry with me. The last thing he said to me on the phone was, "We'll talk when I get back." He never came back. The car went off the road, hit a tree. No one else involved. The doctors said it was instant. I didn't believe them for months. I kept making 2 cups of coffee. I waited by the door. I could still smell him on his clothes, even after washing them 1,000 times. Since then, I shut the world out. Not to punish myself, but because I didn't know how to live with a missing piece of me. And every Valentine's Day, the day he hated, calling it a holiday designed to make lonely people feel even lonelier, that message arrives. At first, I thought it was a joke. Since then, every year at the exact same time, the phone's vibration pulls me back to him, or at least to something wearing his voice. Every Valentine's Day, my house becomes a stage for memories and terror. Every year, the message arrived right on time. Always from a number that didn't exist. I changed everything. SIM card, phone, even cities for a while. Nothing worked. It was as if it didn't depend on the device, but on me. I never reply. The first message came on February 14th, 2020, 4 months after the accident. I was on the couch, cold tea in my hand, when the phone vibrated. Unknown number. Text message, "Don't open the door tonight." I thought it was a joke. I replied, "Who are you?" No reply. I blocked the number. The next day, it no longer existed. Every year, same time, same sentence. I turned the phone off, hid it, but it vibrated anyway. Over time, I started hearing strange noises, light footsteps, doors moving for no reason. It was no longer just a text message. It was an invisible omen, a ritual repeating without mercy. In 2021, same day, same hour, same phrase. I turned the phone off, hid it, and at 11:47 p.m. it vibrated anyway, screen completely black. In 2022, I started writing everything down in a notebook, noting dates and times, trying to trace the IP. It was impossible. The number didn't exist. That night, I heard light footsteps upstairs, even though the house was empty and every door was locked. In 2023, I left the phone on, camera pointed at the front door. At 11:47 p.m., the screen lit up by itself, the message appeared, but the camera recorded no movement. Only silence. My breathing speeding up. The realization that I wasn't alone. In 2024, I tried not to be home. I went to a friend's place, phone turned off on the table. At 11:47 p.m., it vibrated. My friend saw the message and turned pale. "Who is Marco?" I had never told her anything. In 2025, I left a recorder next to the phone. In the morning, I heard only my breathing, then a small click at 11:47 p.m., and a very distant voice whispering my name. My voice. But I hadn't said anything. Every year, the fear grew. Every year, the message was identical, but something inside me changed. The realization that that number, that text, and now that voice weren't just words. They were a warning growing stronger with time, closer, more real. After all those years, the message was no longer frightening because of the words, but because of what it announced. February 14th was no longer a date. It was a countdown. 2026. 7th year. The day passed like any other. Coffee, work, silence. But since dawn, I felt a weight in my stomach, the air heavier, as if the house itself was holding its breath. I checked the phone every hour, even though I knew it was useless. The message always arrives at 11:47 p.m. Not before. Not after. That afternoon, I tried to act normal, cooking, cleaning, TV on to drown out the silence. At 11:30 p.m., I turned everything off. I wanted to be clear-headed. Ready. The phone on the table, screen facing up, felt heavy, as if it contained something alive. At 11:46 p.m., I held my breath. My heart was pounding in my ears. At 11:47 p.m., the phone vibrated. The message had arrived. As always, but this time, I knew immediately it wouldn't be like the others. I picked up the phone with shaking hands. On the screen, the usual text, "Don't open the door tonight." But beneath it, there was something new, a small play triangle. An audio file. In 6 years, this had never happened. I stared at the screen, breath frozen. I knew pressing play would change everything. And yet, I did it. I pressed play with a trembling thumb, my heart in my throat. At first, there was only silence, thick and electric, like opening a corrupted file. Then his voice arrived. Marco. Clear, close, real. Not a memory. Not a distant echo. It was him. But something in the sound was wrong, as if it were fragmented, broken. Few words, slow and heavy. Don't open the door. It's already inside the house with you. Cut off on the last syllable, as if someone stopped it, or as if he was struggling to finish. Then silence. 12 seconds total. The more I listened, the more it felt like he was speaking now, in the present, inside my room. Deepfake. Hacking. A prank. Nothing made sense. The number didn't exist. The timing was perfect. Every breath, every rustle felt amplified. It was no longer a message. It was a presence. Something was already there. After the audio, the silence in the house became unbearable. Not the usual nighttime silence, but something thicker, tangible, as if the air itself was holding its breath with me. I started noticing details that hadn't been there before. A door slightly open, an object moved just a few centimeters, a faint rustle coming from an empty room. Every step I took echoed, wrong, out of place. There were no obvious shadows, no faces, yet something was moving beside me. I kept repeating in my mind, "Don't open the door. It's already inside the house with you." Suddenly I understood. He wasn't talking about someone entering now. It was already here, hidden, present for a long time. Every logical explanation collapsed. It was a matter of presence. Something or someone was in the house with me, watching me. I placed the phone on the small table and stood up slowly. My legs felt heavy, as if the house itself was trying to hold me in place. In front of me, the hallway was lit only by a faint glow from the kitchen. The front door remained closed, deadbolt in place. No signs of forced entry. Yet those words kept echoing in my mind. It's already inside the house with you. I took a step forward. The floor creaked under my weight, a sharp sound that made my blood run cold. I didn't remember that noise. I turned on the kitchen light. Everything seemed normal. The mocha pot on the stove, the clean sink, the calendar on the wall with February 14th circled in red, every year since he's been gone. I opened the refrigerator without knowing why. Inside was a bottle of wine I didn't remember buying. It was his favorite. I had finished it months ago, or so I thought. I closed the fridge door slowly, feeling as if someone was watching me from behind. The hallway felt longer than usual. The bedroom door was slightly ajar. I was certain I had closed it earlier. I pushed it gently with my fingers. The room was dark. I turned on the light. The bed was unmade, as if someone had lain there for a few minutes. On the nightstand was something that took my breath away, the bracelet he had given me years ago. I had lost it. I hadn't seen it in at least 2 years. A soft sound broke the silence. A rustle. It came from the bathroom at the end of the hallway. The door was closed. I had left it open. I walked slowly, holding my breath. I placed my hand on the handle. It was cold. Too cold. I turned it slowly. Inside was dark. Before turning on the light, I saw the mirror above the sink. Reflected was me, pale, motionless. But behind me, in the corner of the mirror, there was a shadow. It didn't move like me. It didn't breathe like me. It was just there. I spun around. There was nothing. I turned on the light. The bathroom was empty. The mirror showed only my reflection. But the faucet was dripping slowly, even though I was sure I had closed it. Drop by drop. A steady rhythm. Almost alive. I went back into the living room, my hands shaking. I picked up the phone and opened the message one last time. Same text. Don't open the door tonight. I pressed play on the audio. Marco's voice said, "Don't open the door. It's already inside the house with you." But this time, I heard breathing in the background. Not his. Mine. Perfectly synchronized with my breathing right now, sitting on the couch, phone pressed to my ear. I stopped it. File time, 23:47. Real time, 0:03. The breathing was mine. Recorded right now. Not by him. By me. I rebooted the phone. The message was still there. Deleted. It doesn't disappear. Forwarded. It won't send. Audio gallery. File missing. And yet, it was there. I realized it with a chill crawling up my spine. I'm not receiving the message. I'm sending it. Every year at 23:47, it's me, or something using my voice, my hands, my phone, writing those words. Recording the audio. Sending it to myself. From a number that doesn't exist outside this place. It's a loop. Closed in on itself. Marco isn't warning me. I'm the one warning myself. Or maybe it's him, trapped inside me for 7 years, trying to stop me. Trying to tell me, don't open it. Because if I open that door, if I break the cycle, what's already inside won't need to hide anymore. It will come out, and it won't go back. I stared at the door. Closed. But the handle trembled. Slowly. As if someone were moving it from the other side. Or as if it were me, from the inside, trying to open it without realizing it. I can't tell anymore. The breathing I hear. Is it mine? Is it his? Or are we the same thing now? The phone vibrated again. New message. From myself. Don't open the door. No audio. Just those words. A new message appeared on the screen. You're going to do it anyway. Black on white. No audio, no explanation. The phone stayed silent, as if it had completed its task. The door didn't move. But the breathing continued. Not from outside. From inside. From my chest, my throat, my head. Every heartbeat sounded like a step in the hallway. Every breath felt like a whisper at the back of my neck. Time no longer existed. I thought about standing up, opening it, seeing what, or who, was on the other side. Or on the other side of me. But I didn't do it. Not yet. If tonight, February 14th, at 23:47, your phone vibrates, don't read the message. Don't press play. Don't reply. Don't open the door. Because if you do, you might realize it's not a warning. It's an invitation. And what's already inside is just waiting for you to give it the freedom to come out.